guys, welcome back. A couple of videos back, there was a conversation in the comment section about backgrounds, and I had several people saying that they didn't like doing backgrounds. Not only did they not like it, but some of them had a lot of trouble with backgrounds because they don't know what to do. Well, that's my cue. And so today I did a video for you where I put up 103. Yes, I found 103 simple backgrounds that beginners and intermediates can do. Now, some of these backgrounds you need a mixed media, and I'm willing to help anybody with any of these in the comments section. Please tell me if there is a background that you see that you're interested in doing so that I can give you the instructions or that maybe you want to try. I'm going to see about doing some of them for you. Some of them are very obvious, like the first one is a very simple one. I try to find very simple ones for you, and up to some really complicated ones that may be above what you're able to do. And some of them also have a texture that you need mixed media for, or you might need Gamsol. So what you want to learn to do as far as backgrounds, and I numbered them 1 through 103. So all you have to do is say, I would like to know how to do number 40, and I will tell you in the comments section exactly what you need and what you have to do to produce a background that's like that one. Backgrounds are negative space, and that's what it's called. And there's nothing negative about them. They could be a lot of fun. They need to be pre-planned. And a lot of people that I see that get to the very end and they don't pre-plan their backgrounds before they start, and they're asking at the end, what color should I do this? That should be decided before you even put a pencil on the paper. A little bit about negative space. Negative space is what is not the focal point. You always want your focal point to be standing out. And in this case, of course, it's the girl. She's the focal point. The back of her head is the focal point of the picture. So anything I choose for the background needs to be colors that are not dominant. They're not going to recede her into the background. They need to make her stand out. A lot of times you could choose a complementary color is always nice in a background, so you can really see what your focal point is and how they are standing out. You can use muted colors or pastel colors when you've got vivid colors as your focal point. And the background should not have a lot of detail. It should be very loose, flowing, complementary to whatever your focal point is. Learning how to do a blur is probably your best option, just like pastels. Pastel is always an easy option for a background. It goes on quick. With a little bit of practice, it's pretty smooth. The hardest type of background to do is a large fade, where you have to get the background as smooth as possible. It's very difficult, and you really should, in a case of a large negative space, use something like a blending material. I'm going to be coming out with a video on a new one that I've been using that I'm very happy with over Gamsol or mineral spirits. If you have any sort of respiratory problems, it's probably not the product for you because it is a petroleum product, just like Gamsol is, or even the blending markers, or any markers per se. But in a ventilated space, it's fine. So a blurry background is always your best choice. You also have to remember that anything that is in the distance is not going to be detailed. This is not the place where you're going to put your fine details. If you put fine details in the background, you lose from your focal point. Okay, remember your focal point is what's going to have all the fine details. I sort of like to look at it as the wall behind a picture. If you put a picture up against a really busy wallpaper, you're going to lose a lot from that picture. People are going to be focused on the wallpaper. So it's kind of the same situation when it comes to backgrounds. Now, at what point of the picture do you do your backgrounds? Because there's two theories, okay? Some people like to do their backgrounds first, get that part over with, and then you can concentrate more on your get the background over with. I like to do it both ways. Sometimes I will do my background first, and sometimes I'll do if I'm doing a portrait, I'll do the face first, because if you screw up the face, you've ruined your picture. Okay, you never, if you're doing a portrait and the face looks distorted, no matter how good the rest of the picture is, the face is still distorted, because that is the main focal point. Even if you screw up eyes, if you screw up eyes, then your picture is always going to be off, even if the rest of the picture is perfect. But on the other hand, like with this girl that I am doing, I know with confidence I could do hair with being a grayscale, I could do hair without it being grayscale. And even though I did this picture, it was dark, I went completely on my own when it came to the hair on this girl. I did my own thing. I put my highlights where I wanted. After the first layer, I couldn't even see the bottom anyways. So in this situation where I have confidence that I was able to do the hair and it would become out perfect, I might have chosen to do the background. Only because I can always judge then what's popping off of it. A very bright background will sometimes take away from the focal point also. You kind of want to use your middle ground colors and then make your foreground or your focal point, your brighter colors that are more dominant than your recessive colors. The recessive colors are not just dark colors, but they're colors that make other colors fade. And we're going to talk a lot more about dominant and recessive colors in my upcoming classes. I told you this one is about tone, so you're going to be hearing. I sort of introduced dominance in my last comprehensive color blending class, and that was just a little taste so that you can get used to the word dominance. And then in other videos, we're going to really be hearing about dominant and recessive colors. So that's why this fit in really nicely with all my other lessons. I'm very happy that people were questioning this. So again, choose a background that you like. You could pick a couple. I will give you instructions for anything you really want. And I could tell you what the best course of action or how I would have handled it. Some of these backgrounds you can do in multiple media. That practically all of them can be done in pencil. Some of them are a little bit easier if you use a pastel. Some of them you might want to print out onto, you might consider printing out onto watercolor paper. And even though that's a very thick paper, you can use a multimedia paper, and that retains water. It's not as good as watercolor paper, but you can get away with it. I got away with it with color books. Again, just let me know the number that you want instruction on. If you need me to do a demo, I'm going to do up to 10 demos on this background in the next couple of weeks. So just give me your numbers, and I will see you in our next video. Take care. Bye-bye.